Hey guys, I'm Divinity Break. I wanted to go over the white-pink deck that I'm going to be playing once I'm able to get all the cards. So, starting off the deck, we've got Rarity, Dazzling Fashionista, which is our starter. It's flip for 2 points. Once you score 2 points and one card's problem, you flip this card over. When it's flipped, it gets Inspired, which is a pretty good effect. Home Limit 4, which is it's what most everything else has. And then it's your opponent must play +1 to move character to this card's problem, which is really good with some of the other cards in this deck. It's actually really good on its own. So on top of problems, we have Kitchen Afumbe, which is good because the pink engine. The Emergency Dress Order, which is our starting problem. It lets us flip Rarity really easily with using something like Flitter or High Spirits. Then Mean Mini Pants, which lets you draw a card when it's played, so that's good for draw power and such. Who's Gabby Gums, which really isn't, I don't really use it for the effect, it's just a 7 point for you, 8 point for your opponent with a bonus for you, which is just nice in general for the deck, and its effect's fine bonus, I guess. Maybes are for babies, which is good because it lets you get more draw power, and it's actually white-pink, which is good. And then one Pony Napped, because when someone confronts this problem, they have to frighten one of their friends. So pretty much your opponent's not going to want to solve this, and then you can focus on the other problem. Okay, so in the pink engine, we've got 2 big top silly ponies, and it's 4 power, 2 requirement, 3 power. And when you win a face-off involving this, you can dismiss an opponent's problem involved the face-off. So it pretty much lets you kill cards, which is really nice. We've got free Flitter, free High Spirits, and free Golden Grape. Flitter is pretty much High Spirits, but it gets +1 during Troublemaker face-offs. And Golden Grape costs 1 more than each of them, but when you win a face-off involving it, you can search your deck for a friend and put it into your hand, which is actually a really good effect. It's just kind of crappy numbers, so it's definitely an interesting card, and I really have to say it's definitely cool. Then Pinkie Pie Responsibility Pie, 3 of them. It's kind of like Big Top, except you don't have to win a face-off with it, but then its power is reduced by 1. So it's kind of just if you want to snipe something off. We've got a free Bright Bulb Season Strategist, which is just mainly for a certain strategy, because you've got your opponent has to pay more to move, so this thing definitely helps make your opponent not able to move stuff to problems. So it's the only purple card we run, but it has no requirement. Onto the white cards, we've got 2 action shots, which is when you play this card, you get +4 power. It lets you solve problems really quickly when you need to, and it's just a pretty good card in general. And we've got Big Shot, which is when you reveal a Troublemaker at this card's problem, you can exhaust it to get a point, which if you can get more points faster, then might as well. And plus it's got 1 requirement, and it's got 2 for 2, and since you start off with Rarity, you already have the 1 requirement, now you just need to pay 2 to get 2, which is good on its own. And same thing for Savior's Fouillère, or Savore Forêt. It's 2 cost, 2 power, 2 requirement. So it's pretty hard. It's pretty easy to get out. It gives you Inspired, which Inspired is just good to have multiple of because you can use it multiple times. Also, when it's played to a problem, you can choose another character to have a problem. It gets +2 power until the end phase, and that's actually really good as well because it's just you're not losing any cost playing it because it's not expensive for what it is, but it's giving you more power for the turn. We've got Rising Star, which is exhaust this card to reveal a Troublemaker at its problem, which is really good for just getting a first turn Yellow Parasprite or getting something like Arizodal or Nightmare Moon if you want to get it off really fast. So it just lets you flip immediately. It's just nice. We got A Vision into the Future, which you know what your opponent's flip's going to be using Inspired on him or on your Rarity. So you can know that you'll have 5 as well, which makes it easier to predict who will win the face-off if you need to. And considering you get so much draw advantage, it's only costing you 1 cost, and it's not like it's going to tamper with your hand too much. Got Downright Dangerous. It's pretty much kill opponent's cards with 2 or less power, or you can just decrease an opponent's card by 2 power until the end phase. This is really good for opponent's card that has free cost 2 power. You can just kill it and make them lose 1 overall. In general, it's a really good card. Also works with some of the strategies. Here's Your Invitation, which is pretty much the 1 less version of it. It's pay 1 and kill 1 with 1 or less. I don't want to run too many of them, but it's good with some of the strategies in the deck. Let's get this party started is draw 3 cards. I run 2 of them just because it's kind of a good card. Stand Still is really good. This card's amazing. It's your opponent. Once your opponent cards move, you can return it back to where it came from. So say opponent's card is at home, they move to a problem. I play this for free It's got no cost, and its requirements really easy to fulfill. And they have to go back, which means they lose 2 action tokens, which is really good, or even more if I have Rarity flipped or Octavia. Got Tingle Coiffure, which is play an opponent's card. It can't move, so pretty much if you lay on 2 power or more, it's pretty much dead. And if it has no effect, at least if it has an effect, it can still use that. But it pretty much makes it so that they can't use its power on anything else. Arizodal, which is just a good villain if you want to flip over and just, kind of wreck your opponent with that. Yellow Parasprite, because it's this is a good card. I mean, I've heard a lot of people talk pretty good about it, and I tried it out and I liked it. It's pay 1, and your opponent only gets 1 point for beating it, but it makes them discard cards, which can be pretty helpful. And you can flip it instantly with him, so it's actually really cool. Then we've got Octavia Virtuoso, 2 of them. It's a really good card. It makes your opponent play extra 2 to move a card to or from this card's problem. And then we've got Rarity Truly Outrageous, one of the best cards in the game. I already have 2 of them, so I'm really happy. And it's when you confront this card's problem, you may move this card home to score points equal to that card's bonus. And what's really good about this card is confronting, you do that every turn that you complete the requirements. So you can do this turn after turn after turn, and you will win within very few turns if it's a good problem. So I'm going to go over some of the strategies of the deck. One of them I like to call Shining Conviction, involving Rarity Truly Outrageous. And what it is you use her effect every turn. But, of course, if your opponent solves the problem, then you have a face-off. So what you do is you use cards like Pinkie Pie, Responsibility Pie, and Downright Dangerous, and Here's Your Invitation. So once your opponent completes the problem, you kill their cards off, so they no longer complete the problem. So when you solve it, you don't do a face-off, and then Rarity goes home, and you haven't solved it either that way. If you look at this problem, it costs 2 and 2. So say your opponent has requirements, you play Pinkie Responsibility Pie, you kill one of their cards that solves it, and then they no longer fill the requirements. And now you move Rarity from home to the problem, and now you have 2 white, 2 pink, which solves the problem. You get the 1 point, and then you move her home, you get 2 extra bonus points, and then you no longer solve the problem. So your opponent can't make a face-off happen next turn. All they can do is confront the problem, get 1 point, and wait for you to kill their cards again next turn. It's really good. You win within very few turns using that strategy. Another strategy is Tornado Requiem, I like to call it. It pretty much revolves around Octavia and Bright Bulb. What it is Octavia makes it so your opponent has to play +2 to move. Also, you can use Rarity, who makes an extra +1, meaning it's +3 power for them to move a character there. And then once you use Bright Bulb, if your opponent plays a problem character to that problem, you exhaust it and you move that character back home. So pretty much your opponent can't get any characters on that problem, and it's really hard for them to do that. And it also works with Rarity Truly Outrageous, because then you can keep solving the problem with her as well, getting extra points. And it pretty much just stops your opponent from solving the problem. It's really great. And then you can have some Nightmare Moon or something on the other problem, and you pretty much control the field. Also, I'm going to go over some of the advantages of the deck. One of which being face-off control, using stuff like Rarity, who has Inspired, so you know what's on top of your opponent's deck, and you've got Vision into the Future, which lets you know what's on top of your deck. So you're able to calculate when you want to go for a face-off and how much you need to win. Other strategies are Easy Flip, Rarity being one of the easiest to flip main cards in the game, as long as you run enough low-powered characters. Another one would be Instant Villain, which means Rising Star, means you can flip Arizodal or Nightmare Moon as quickly as you need to frighten all your opponent's cards. You've got Problem Sniping, so you can use stuff like Pinkie Pie, Downright Dangerous, and Here's Your Invitation. If you need to get rid of an opponent's cards, that has a really good effect if that's hindering you in some way. Like, Here's Your Invitation, you can kill something like Zecora, Downright Dangerous can kill something like Bright Bulb, and then Pinkie Pie, Responsibility Pie can just kill anything with a high amount of power. And then another one would be the Draw Power and Search Engine. Using stuff like Golden Grip, you can search for any friend you want, and let's get this party started, lets you draw as many cards as you need. And stuff like Mean Meanie Pants lets you draw cards as well, and Maybes Are for Babies. And really, overall, you just have as many cards as you need, and what cards do you need. It's really good overall. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. See you guys next time.